There is a microphone.
This one has a microphone. Well, good evening, and thank you for having me.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure to be able to update you. Last time I was here, I was telling you the woe stories of COVID. I'm grateful to report that we haven't had 10 this whole fall. So the faculty are 98% vaccinated and our students are 80% vaccinated. And so that has helped immensely. Anybody who's not vaccinated is tested weekly, and we're still in mask inside. So that, we haven't missed any school, we haven't missed any athletic events, so it's been a much better fall than last fall. So we're very grateful for that. Academically, as I was telling you, we were launching our program at the Lansing Correctional Facility to be able to teach there. We currently have 35 students in our, and they're studying cybersecurity. Now, there's something ironic about that, but.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That is what they're studying. We also just launched our bachelor's in social work. And we have initial accreditation for that, and we are building up the master's in social work. So we're working on both of those. And we have just opened our human anatomy lab, so I thank our Mayor Pro Temp and our Mayor for coming to the blessing. That having a cadaver lab for our health sciences and our biology, in a sense, sets us apart as a college. Very few colleges our size have an anatomy lab. And it's so much different teaching human anatomy and being able to use a cadaver or donor rather than a cat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whole different learning experience for our students. And by the time everyone cycles through it, about 500 of our students will be using it. So.
How long does the body last?
We hope to have them last for the academic year. We have a full-time coordinator, Dr. Tricia Walden, and it's a matter of her scheduling with the other academic programs. Who needs to study the ankle? Who needs to study the brain? Who needs to study the heart? So that you dissect them and preserve them much as you can as you're going around. Right now, our doctorate in physical therapy students are studying the brain, and the AT students are studying the ankle. So it's a matter of seeing if you can make the body last.
Okay.
We're hoping they'll last, and if not, we'll have to purchase some more. But we're hoping that it'll work. So far so good. That is in our old, if you remember, our old swimming pool. We referred to it our hot tub. So it is no more. It was not. We didn't take it apart. We just disconnected, drained it, and put the floor over the top. So if we ever want a swimming pool, we can bring it back in. So we have another unique, we had a gift of $102 million, and it was for the purpose of setting up the Spires training team. So we have a team of 5 students who went through an intensive interview process, and they get to trade with 2 professionals, and they trade naked puts, actually. And so each day they tell their 2 coaches what they think they should trade and why. They don't get to enact the trades. They can see the sheets, just like I can. They can see and study the trades, and so they tell him what they think they should trade, and then he either does the trade or writes back why they shouldn't do that trade. And so every day they have to do their profit and loss statement, and their goal is to make $5,000 a week. So if they hit their goal, then the students, that will pay for their tuition, room, and board. And so far, they're on track. So it's becoming the most coveted team to be part of it. Football is secondary all of a sudden.
Are they finance majors?
Some are finance, some are in accounting, and one is a biologist. They're students who have a knack for numbers and definitely understand statistics, because it's all statistically driven. So it's helping teach them another skill, teaching them a lot of discipline, and helping them pay for college. So we now have a Spires trading team, and our accounting professor, Bill Watlington, is their coach, so we call him Coach Watlington. So we're excited about that, and we're also very grateful for the city, because the city's agreed to partner with us for tennis courts. We have started our tennis team, so that will launch next fall, and we're using the David Brewer courts, and in return, the city is going to use our McGilley Fieldhouse for their young basketball on Saturdays in January and February. So that'll be a nice partnership.
That's great.
So we're excited that that's gonna work out. We're also gonna, as you drive by, you'll see that the softball and baseball are getting turf, which will also open that up to more city use in the summer, so we're excited about that. God has blessed us with a lot of water, and those two sat down there in their natural springs, so they were forever flooded. So turfing them, actually, our students will be in class more often, and they'll play more games at home rather than traveling because we got rained out again. So we're excited about that. They will be done in December, weather pending, so hopefully that all works out for us as well. And this Thursday, I leave to go to Vancouver, Washington to accompany our cross-country teams. The men won the conference for the 9th time in the row, and the women won for the 4th in 5 years. And so the men are now ranked 2nd in the nation, and the women are 5th. So I'm going to Vancouver, Washington to watch them run.
Good.
Yeah, we run faster than we play football. So they're wonderful long-term students. I always think that if a team goes to nationals, people think about a basketball or football team and everybody gets all excited. And I think the runners need just as much support, so we're going out to support them. Our enrollment, just to let you know, is 1275. 910 of them are on the main campus. And so we do apologize for taking up Hughes Road as well. We try to drive carefully up and down there. But, and of those, 706 are our traditional undergrads. And then out there we also have our doctorate in occupational therapy, doctorate in physical therapy. The doctorate in education is down at Overland Park. Those are our 3 doctorates. And the athletic training, the masters in nurse practitioners, those are actually at St. John's. They're in St. John's old ER, or OR. That's where they use that. And that they're there as well as most of our nursing labs are over there. So those students are all on the main campus as well as our traditional undergrads. So parking is premium. We continue to push our students to volunteer in the city. So we have students at the Interfaith Shelter of Hope that volunteer there. They're also volunteering at Catholic Charities. And Sister Vicki has them rehabbing houses.
Okay.
Whatever Sister Vicki's doing, we tend to volunteer wherever she is. As you know, she's a force to be dealt with in the city. So overall, we're very excited that things have gone well. Very grateful that COVID has stayed apart. And so I'd be glad to entertain any questions you have.
I just think it's amazing how, since I went to school there, you innovated so many new programs and that are real timely. The trading one is wonderful. The question I have is can people donate their body to the anatomy lab to St. Mary's?
I haven't quite figured that out. We buy ours from KU. I said, can't we
Okay.
just mark the toe? Send it back. I think right now around here, the bodies most of them go to KU or to St. Louis.
Okay.
I thought, where I come from, I could have a regular supply.
Any other questions?
How many students live on campus?
We are full. We have 334 on campus.
And what's the breakdown, male, female, approximately?
Approximately, we're about, overall, in the undergrad, we're about 53% female.
Okay,
We actually have more freshman boys, but girls retain longer.
okay. Thank you.
Sister, for the dormitories, and I thought the last time you were here, you mentioned something. Are you going to build more?
Yes, we are. So right now, it looks like that strip of land that's right next to St. John's, they're probably going to go right there.
Okay.
It'll be a little bit more of a challenge because of drainage, but that's where the sisters want them to put it, so that's probably where they'll go.
Okay, thank you.
Has there been an increase in your enrollment for the nursing program? Has that increased? Or
Yes,
decreased?
they have.
It's been increased?
It has increased. It's not yet full because we have traditional nursing, accelerated nursing, which is a traditional program that they go through in 1 year. And then we have the Masters in Nurse Practitioner. So between all of them, yeah, they've all grown. It's our biggest program.
My daughter's looking forward to going next year.
The Accelerator, is that LPN or?
No, it's an it's a traditional program.
Wow,
It's
that's
people
great.
generally who have just graduated maybe in biology or exercise science and then thought, oh, I need a job.
Yeah.
And so
that's
they go
good.
through in 1 year. It's
really
intense,
good.
it's 21 hours at a time.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No?
Thank you,
No,
sister.
thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me out.
We always
Yeah,
enjoy
thank you.
hearing from you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Matt, Leavenworth Public Library. Pardon? No, I was mid-tech. Laboratory.
Good evening. Thank you for having me in to visit with you. And I'd like to start by thanking Commissioner Preisinger and Commissioner Griswold for being so welcoming and having such respect for me and the library. It's been a real pleasure to work with this whole body. I hope that that relationship, of course, continues. It's been very productive. And I really just want to thank on the behalf of the board, the staff, all of our library users. The community deserves you. You deserve a big thanks from the community for the way that you have given the library the respect, I think, and the treatment and the priority that it deserves. In some places I've been, that has not been the case. You know, the library falls way down on the list of important resources, but you guys have always held that and held our place dear. And I really appreciate that. All of you too. It's a real pleasure to work with a funding agency and a group of people who really care and understand the importance of the library especially after about 100+ years of serving the community. We're not constantly forced to kind of prove ourselves all the time over and over. Why do we have a library? What are you doing that's worth our investment? So again, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're rebounding. We're probably about 70 to 75% of what we would traditionally, a normal month of circulation. The traffic is increasing, but it's at a fairly steady but not a really rapid pace. Attendance at our programs is growing. Our youth services supervisor just resigned her position. So she's moving on to a library out of state. And we're using this opportunity to maybe redefine that position and refocus it on really improving and growing the quantity and quality, real focus on children's services. So there are some positions in the library that are a circulation assistant who works at a desk in youth, in adult, doesn't really matter, the job is the same. So we're probably going to refocus and shift some things around so that the person who moves into that position will really be able to really focus less on training, on personnel management, on collecting timesheets and doing some of those HR things, and really focus on growing our programs. One of the opportunities we were pursuing was, and I know the University of St. Mary has a gaming team. Basically, it's online gaming. And this is something that colleges are even now offering scholarships in. It's something that which is kind of interesting, get to play, I wouldn't do very well because I think Pac-Man is about the extent of my skills. But we think it would be a great way to attract teens to the library by offering them something that they personally really enjoy, offering maybe, again, a real value. And also young adults. We have teen gaming, we have children's gaming, but something that maybe the 20 or 30-somethings would also enjoy. So we have worked with the coach down at University of St. Mary who's given us all the tips we need. Technologically, we're there. We need a few more machines, and it probably wouldn't be bad for us to get some of those fancy chairs that the gamers really like. But that's something that we're kind of holding fire on until we have our new youth services supervisor, because that should be a program that department launches and handles. The building is doing fine. We have a kind of a persistent leak in the adult department that the roofing company thinks they have traced to a door that goes out onto the upper roof. And it doesn't happen all the time. When the wind is right and the rain is right, it just hits this spot and we come in and poof, there's a big wet area there. It's really persistent and really annoying, but it's not consistent so that you can really identify it. But they're doing all the investigating they can and all the fixing they can to try to stop that from happening. But again, it's like that noise your car makes when you get it to the garage. It sounds fine. So that's been going on. About the only thing we have left as a COVID-based requirement is masks. The board discussed making them optional at the last meeting, and they decided that because there are still so many children that cannot get vaccinated, that it's better off that staff and everyone who comes in the library wears a mask so that we don't run the risk of spreading that infection to kids who are unable to be protected any other way. And I know that some of those parents take their kids to grocery stores and every other place in and around Leavenworth or beyond without masks, but our board feels that as a responsible public body, they'd rather not risk that. You know, when people come to the library, let's think of the kids and try to make sure that we don't accidentally or inadvertently spread something to them that they really don't need. Our children's programs for December, of course, are coming up. Somebody that you all know usually visits in December, but we're not sure, again, having someone sit in your lap this far from your face. We had the visit last year online, and that's probably going to happen again this year. But we did at Halloween and at Christmas. At Halloween, we had a book or treat. So you come to the library in your costume, and you go to the children's desk, trick or treat, get a book. We had about 800 books that kids walked out with. And we do the same thing at Christmas. Usually the big guy hands the child a book, but in this case, I think it'll just be the parents can come in and pick one up for their child. So the idea of getting books in kids' hands is really important because it's something that they have. It's their own. It encourages them to have their own library and sit down with mom and dad, either at night or whenever, to read and just share that family time together. So we think that's a important aspect of sharing literacy for youth in Leavenworth. Boy, I don't know if there are any other real big, it's sort of winding down, the end of the year is here, so we're sort of catching our breath a little bit. Of course, our budget is done. One thing that we have been discussing, we were in the process of getting a new strategic planning process underway in January of 2020, and of course in March everything blew up. So we know that we are a year behind in thinking and doing some deliberate planning and analysis of library, how we're serving, how we're not serving, what the community needs now and in the future. So the board's been discussing hiring a consulting firm, much like the city did when you did your comprehensive plan, to try to get some people in. I've done it before myself in many places, but I am not. I think the way that libraries are changing and communities changing, we need to think longer term and bigger issues. Will people come back to the libraries the way they used to? I don't know. Are they now used to items being brought to them? I drove home today behind a truck that said McDonald's. So they're bringing cheeseburgers to people's homes. Is that the new normal? And if it is, how can libraries, not ride that wave? It'd be like us saying, well, I don't care how many people like audiobooks. We don't do that. You'd really be doing the community a disservice. So anyway, we've talked about an RFP to get a firm to come in and help us do a really professional and thorough job about analyzing what the community needs really are now and in the future. How are we not meeting those needs? Are there other means or other ways that people are finding library-like services? If you're not getting your books from the library, where are you getting them from? Are there other things that we can, and how is our communication? Are people aware of what's going on? Are people aware of that the library is active and still rolling? So we want to be able to hopefully get that approved and get that signed, and within a few months have a document in hand that will allow the library board and the administrative team to really plan some bigger issue and some bigger picture change before we get left behind. So that's a big administrative project that's going on, and we'll hopefully be able to get that started soon enough. And I'll probably talk to Paul and other people here who have been through that process, and so I can get some recommendations about the best place to put those ads so that you get into the right audience and get really qualified people to come in and respond. We will have, Goodwill has a mobile vehicle that they bring around to actually help people apply for jobs working for Goodwill. And we got a call from their Kansas City office. They're going to bring that to the library. Oh, thank Noyan. What's the date? For the life of me, I can't remember the date. I should have written it down. But they're gonna park that vehicle in our parking lot there on Fourth Street and advertise and bring people in. It's a very cool little, it's almost like a bookmobile, but they have computer workstations in there, digital access so that people can apply online, people can get resumes and do all that sort of thing. And we wanna look at, I think it's a great thing for the community to have access to it, but we also wanna look at as a model of maybe the kind of vehicle the library could use, or maybe in our future, to provide digital services or delivery or other kinds of outreach services in Leavenworth. I'd like to see how that works. I've bought bookmobiles before, but that was in the late 90s. And I know that a lot of libraries in Kansas still operate them. They've disappeared in a lot of places, but Olathe, Topeka, delivering mobile services is still a very, very big thing in this state. And I think it may be in our future too, in some form or another. Bringing services to schools, to nursing homes, to the VA. You know, there are a lot of places where people congregate or meet that they may or may not have the ability to get to our services. So how can we bring it to them?
That sounds like a great idea. Like the food truck, only it's.
Right.
so food
Tacos
truck,
on one side, bestsellers on the other.
There you go.
Just wipe your hands
New
first.
idea.
Will this be advertised on your social media page
Yeah, what,
with the Goodwill truck?
yes, yeah, we're waiting to get some kind of promotional information from them, and I told them that you don't need to wait to deliver a piece of paper. Send us a digital copy, we'll put it out to our social media, we'll put it on we have, the bulletin board is your first thing you come in, that's usually the first place people stop. So we'll make sure that we get that word out, absolutely. And I know that when we received a survey from Mary Dwyer relating to HUD, and we put that on to our social media outlet.
That's good.
And your public information officer just said that's boosted it, really. 'Cause we have quite a few people that follow the library, and quite a few people that, and we try to use that as a way to help share information for other public agencies and efforts that are going on, not just other libraries.
Yeah, send that to me too. I'll put it out on the United Way site as well.
Okay. I'm embarrassed, I cannot remember I just can't remember the date.
Yeah, that's all right. Just send me the digital.
I will do that.
Share it.
Right. Well, I guess, does anybody have any questions about the
I've got
library?
two quick questions. Who's the current president of the library board?
Lisa Weekly.
Okay. How many library card holders does the library have?
Library card holders, probably about probably around 15 to 16,000. Active users, on an average month, we have around 2,000. But that's just the active users for people who borrow material. We really don't have a way to track every other individual who may come in the library to use our internet, may come to do a program, take care of other services. And that number, again, it's incrementally growing every month as people get back on the library trail, or just
Sure.
realize that, we're still here, we've always been here. Some people, I think, are still uncomfortable in public settings.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you.
You did have an issue a few years back on loitering.
Right.
Had a loitering issue. How's that now?
I have not seen that for a long time. And even I do a daily, patrol around the building to pick stuff up. And even the volume of that debris and trash is nothing compared to what it used to be. And I think the two were linked. People would bring food wrappers, would bring food containers, would bring other things, and when they hung out there all day, or outside especially, it ended up getting
Sure.
chucked in. And I think the grocery store on the corner is doing a better job too, because we used to have a lot of stuff blowing in from their parking lot. So no, I'd say that the loitering outside the building, and as a public place, if people aren't bothering other people, or they're not
Right.
blocking the door,
Yeah.
it's not something that you can tell people, you can't hang around here. But we, of course, took complaints and concerns and comments from people about, this person looks that way, or creeps me out, or doesn't, makes me feel uncomfortable. And our approach has always been, please remember that we are a public place. Everyone's welcome. If they act out, if they violate our code of conduct, anything like that, where we can have a good reason to warn them and possibly evict them if necessary. And we do our best to respond to that. We don't have anybody that patrols outside, but every hour on the hour, we have people that go around with a clipboard to go around the building. Few reasons. A, they can find out if there's stuff that needs cleaned up. We found a leak that way one time that I'm very glad they found, because if it had gone for another hour, it might have been a big serious problem. So we make sure that the code of conduct, any kind of maintenance issues and all that are something that are regularly noted as different departments and different people make the rounds of the facility.
I also know that you had to implement a no smoking policy, obviously inside. There was always no smoking, but
Right.
even on the grounds itself, that's worked out well, or has it not?
It was a little stroppy at first,
Sure.
when people had to get used to the fact that they couldn't smoke there. I got called some very interesting things. But I think after that, the news is out, it's kind of settled down. And even a lot of people cooperated, even if they just simply didn't realize it. But there were a few people who certainly wanted to tell me what they thought. But it has not been the issue that it was at first.
Any other questions? Good, well, thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
Okay. This item on the agenda, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Christy Lee.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Good to be here.
Ms. Lee.
Nice day today.
Yes,
Isn't that gorgeous?
yes.
Did it get as hot as it was supposed to get?
I don't think it
70s.
did. I had heard like 74 or something
Right.
like that. I don't think it got that
Right.
hot, but it was still
That's why I asked you.
beautiful out there.
I feel like it
Yeah,
was-
it's warm right now.
gotten-
Okay, well, the fall report, I just kind of wanted to go over, just give you some brief updates on the national travel industry, a few slides and that from the state of Kansas, and then a few more slides on what's been happening here in Leavenworth and that. So nationally, the holiday travel, of course, is what they're kind of talking about now, and with COVID being down, how come we don't have, I can see it just fine. I'm going away. You got the, okay, all right, so we won't worry about that. Okay. Good. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. I know, right? So anyway, they are predicting that about 7 in 10 people are going to be traveling this holiday season. So typically to see friends and family and that. Last December, I mean, it was pretty bleak in that. They were advising not to in that. So, but so far, I think this winter, this season, shopping season, everything is going to be way above last year's. So. Although the staffing shortages, I mean, obviously everybody's heard of that, as that's nationally, so everywhere. There's actually about 335,000 less people employed in the hospitality industry compared to last year at this time. So this industry, obviously, along with all the other industries, are pretty hard hit in that area as well. So I know everyone's working on it and trying to figure it out and moving forward, but anyway. Then also the international inbound travel, they did as of November 8th, they have opened the air, land, and seaports for entry to international travel. So normally, international travel produces around $239 billion in income and to the United States and that, and then directly supports about 1.2 million American jobs. So it is a pretty substantial industry when you consider all the international people that would be traveling, which haven't been. So hopefully that'll pick up again and we'll get back to somewhat of a normalcy. Kansas tourism has also been down a little bit, but hopefully, I attended a I70 meeting on Monday, and everyone there was really positive, saying that they are rebounding a lot faster than they thought they would be. Kansas City gave a pretty good update. a few of the other cities there, sports was one of the big things that they said was really keeping their hotels going this time, for the whole last year, because that didn't seem to stop in the whole COVID thing and that, so a lot of sports teams were still traveling. But, let's see, just due to the pandemic and the visitor spending fell by more than a quarter in 2020 for the state of Kansas, amounting to a decline of about $1.9 billion for the state. However, the visitors still generated about $589 million in state and local taxes, which is equivalent to about $520 in tax savings to every household in Kansas, still with the spending that we had, even though it was down. So not too bad. And like I said, most everybody reported at that meeting that it was rebounding a lot faster than they thought. The hotel report for the state year-to-date occupancy is about 52.1%. The year-to-date average daily rate is at about 84.42, and the RevPAR across revenue per available room is right at $43.98. So a few more statistics on the tourism industry as far as employment. Currently, there's about 53,400 tourism industry positions in the state of Kansas. We've fallen to, I believe, 12th, versus in 2019, we were at 9th as far as overall people employed in the state. But again, going forward, hopefully some of those jobs obviously will start coming back as we move forward in that. So I think we're all looking positively towards the future there. So this is kind of, this Datafy dashboard is new for us. It's going to be an awesome program. Basically, they receive their, they get their figures from cell phones. And if you visit Leavenworth or whatever, from wherever this captures where you're coming from. It captures a lot of information via the phone signal. So has about a 10% rate of, some people don't have it on, some people, as far as their location services and that. But basically, we did buy into this for a year. The State Office of Tourism was offering a 50% co-op and that, so it just made sense to try and get in on this and just really get some good figures. So I'm still learning the program. I think it's going to give us a lot of good information. We've always kind of struggled with how many visitors are we actually getting here. So this will give us a really good idea of where they're coming from and how many. So as you can see, the state or the U.S. Map there, most of them, 19.94% are in-state. And then you can see all the states around us, where the percentage of people are coming from who are visiting us. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then you can keep drilling down. And on the next page, then, you can see the actual cities, the top cities that are visiting Leavenworth from 50 miles out. You can set the parameters however you want, just to try and get the information that you're really looking to get. So I just thought that was really interesting that, it lists some of the cities there then that are our top cities that were visiting Leavenworth. And that was, the dates that I were using was January through September of 2021. So depending on, just like I was saying, parameters, you can move this around and just really get a lot of information from it. So it's going to be good going forward, just really zeroing in on some of those targets and figuring out what people are doing and where they're coming from. We've got it, we can look at attractions, we can look at meeting venues, we can look at downtown Leavenworth, we can look at Fort Leavenworth. So we've got all these different specific spots that we can drill down on and get information on it. So transient guest.
Quick question.
Sure.
Just look at these cities. All of them make complete sense to me, except for, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, but do you have any idea why Paola, Kansas is number 3? That small little town, what happened there?
I'm thinking construction. Maybe
You're
there's,
probably right. Maybe that's it.
you know?
Yeah, that's probably it.
I
That makes
mean,
sense.
that's what I was, when I was looking at some of them too, I'm thinking that maybe some construction companies are
That's
traveling back and
probably right.
forth from that area.
Okay. Good answer.
Would be
Thank
my,
you.
would be my guess.
Makes sense.
Revenue and room nights so far, January through September, 6.4 million, and which equates to about 60,500 room nights. Transient guest tax collected, 458,000, 144.45, and that equates to about 54,000 room nights. What I thought was interesting this time, only about 10.55% of the room nights sold were exempt from transient guest tax. Usually that figure's right around 35, 38%, so we've really dropped there. So, again, maybe a lot of construction that was coming and going, and I'll check with, on the military, I know some of them, if it's not a direct bill, then they are charged the transient guest tax, so maybe the military's changed some of their parameters when people are checking in and that, but, so could be some things that are changing there, but anyway, I thought that was interesting. 10%, I was like, hey. Anyway, occupancy then, for us actually is looking pretty decent for 2021. It's 61.4 versus the state is only at 52. The average daily rate here is at 105 versus the state at 84. And then our RevPAR here is at 64.96, almost $65 versus the state's 43, almost $44. So we're doing really well as far as that goes. So. And then more on the information on our dashboard as far as drilling down and getting information on, 71.9% are from those people that are visiting from those cities over on there are staying at least one night. 5.79% are staying 2 nights, and then it goes up to the 5 nights or more is at 15%, whereas that's where I'm thinking it is a lot of the construction and military, most likely. So, just some local Leavenworth and that. There's a couple of new general managers at our 2 hotels. The Hampton Inn has hired Patrice Chisholm, and then the Leavenworth local hired Christine Throckmorton. Before, Shirley Dickinson was the general manager of both places and that, but when she retired, then they did each place hired their own general manager and that. So as far as I know, they're doing really well, and hopefully we'll have a meeting with all the hotels sometime in December is what the current plan is. So local involvement, still really working with our local partners and that, Main Street especially, on a couple of different promotional activities. You may have seen we're kind of co-sponsoring the Shop Local billboard out there. It's right on 4th as you're coming into town and that for the holidays. We're also doing a big holiday campaign on billboards this year, so you'll hopefully see some. We've put some in, that's probably coming up in my report, getting ahead of myself. But anyway, St. Joe, Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas are some of the places that we're placing the billboards geared towards holiday shopping. And then Datafy is the same as the dashboard that we were just speaking about, and that kind of gives a little bit of an explanation on some of their information as far as the company itself. I'm kind of excited about it, so I'm looking forward to really delving in and trying to get some good information from it. Off to, let's see, then some of the other, again, we do a lot of co-oping with some of our other partners and that we work with on a regular basis. The Kansas City Regional Destination Alliance, we've always got some kind of marketing going with them. The holiday, the KC Holiday Trip, the Kansas KC History, the KC Coffee, the KC Quirky, and then the organization itself has been hiring some travel writers, some influencers and that, and they've been coming out and posting and that. So I think it's doing pretty well as far as getting some leads coming here and that. Seems to be working well for us in that, so I know we're going to continue doing that. One of the things also the KCRDA is doing now is like Tourism Gives Back. So a couple of times throughout the year, they plan on, there's I think at least 12 DMOs or Convention Visitors Bureau that belong to this. So all of us are going to get together once in a while and go to a property or something and, help clean up or paint or do a project a couple times throughout the year. So we did our first one this year. It was down in Merriam, and we cleaned the Turkey Creek Streamway Trail, which was fun and got to go down to Miriam. I'd never been on the trail, so it was fun. Anyway, and then I listed just some of the other organizations. Again, I was telling you that I attended the I70 Association meeting on Monday and that, so just some of the things that they do, newsletters four times a year, printing, we're printing a new brochure right now, printing over 60,000 of those. They contract with a couple of different organizations to get the brochures out there with all of us holding, having brochures as well, but putting them in hotels and along the roadways and stuff like that, so people hopefully are picking them up. And then Facebook, they're doing some road trip giveaways and stuff like that via their social media platforms and stuff, so. Northeast Kansas, same thing. I mean, we're doing newsletters, giveaways, road trips, rack cards. Then we put together a Destination Steakhouse every year, which is held in Topeka in February. So we'll be putting something together for that one as well. Other associations, again, Tour Kansas, all of these associations that we belong to are all having their own social media platforms. And so we're all really trying to work together and get the, information out there and making it easy to find what people are looking for. And hopefully we'll find more on Leavenworth as we go forward, so. Some of the updates for tourism here locally, the grants are going well. We had 5 that we just approved in August. The Historical Society, the Main Street, Richard Allen Cultural Center, Miss Kansas Volunteer Pageant was a new event that we helped sponsor, and so was the Leavenworth Arts Inc. Was a new event that we helped sponsor. So hopefully those will continue to go, and I think I did see a post on social media that the film festival is hopefully going to be coming back in March, so excited about that one. Yeah, that's exciting. That'll be good. So anyway, our social media seems to be going really well. We've got over 7,700 followers between our platforms and that. We had a couple of really awesome posts throughout the year. Our May Farmers Market got over 12,000 people reached in that. Within a few days, it was over 12,000. So it was crazy how people were sharing that one. It was just amazing. And then when the Fox 4 was here, we had, over 6,500 on that. So that was also, and there was a couple of posts along with that Fox. It wasn't just one. I mean, there was several that were getting that kind of impressions from the people.
Were we able to get any video from the Fox 4?
Yes, we've gotten some,
Okay.
but it's
We've seen
hard.
that. The
Yeah.
drone footage was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Much
Yeah, we've
better
gotten
than our
some, but
police
there was,
department.
you had to buy it, and, I mean, there was a lot involved with it, and copyright and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so.
It was a lot better than I said, like
Yeah.
our
It was,
police drone.
that was awesome. I'm
Yeah.
so glad we did that. That was
Yeah,
really,
that's
that was
great.
really good.
That was
So,
great.
Our website is still doing, okay with, 63,000 unique users on it and over 155,000 total page views. Working with Melissa on that, and so on the bottom of the city's website, at the bottom, there was a link to go to the Convention and Visitor Bureau page and that, but it didn't really, it just went to our page, it just said Convention and Visitors Bureau. So we changed the artwork on that, so now it kind of says to go to the calendar of events. So hopefully people, when they look at that, they'll click on it more. So hopefully the referrals will go up, because currently right now, the travelkansas.com is still our top referral site for us and that. And then the city's website is actually third as far as referrals to our page. And I'm thinking it needs to, hopefully it'll keep rising up there, and it'll become one of the top referral sites for us, so. Some of our marketing this year, our visitor guidebooks are down. Again, that's just, hopefully we're working with Leavenworth Times right now for a 22 issue in that. So hopefully, and we're not going to print 17,000. We usually print 17,000 a year, but we're probably only going to print like about 12. But anyway, we're currently working on that, and hopefully those will go to print late December with a rollout in probably late January. So print ads, we've placed over 24 ads in print this year with a distribution of about 1.8 million. And our online advertising mainly with the State Office of Tourism, and then we're also doing some search engine marketing with the meetings market. That's had impressions of over about 2.5 million. And then, like I said, that will actually increase, because I don't have any of the statistics in there for our billboards. And we did all digital billboards except for the one right here in Leavenworth that we split with Main Street. But we're still continuing our e-newsletter that we send out and we're still getting an open rate of almost 16%, so that's pretty good. Our group tours, for 2021, we actually have had several this year, which has been good, and we've just picked up another one that's coming on December 20th out of Topeka, so, and she's bringing almost 45 people with her, she said, so, I was working on the itinerary today, they're coming on a Monday, so it's, was calling around, making sure everybody would be able to accommodate that day, but it looks good right now, so they'll be here December 20th, and, we've got a couple of on the books already for 2022, and some trade shows and conferences that we're going to be attending. Now, we do go to the ABA, well, you can kind of read them right there. Those are the ones that we're currently signed up to attend for next year. And calendar of events, this is a exciting time of the year. There's a lot of things going on. I've kind of highlighted some of them here in November and December, but there's every weekend from now until past Christmas, there's things going on the weekends. So get out there and do some shopping and check things out. So that's kind of my report. Does anyone have any questions or?
I have a question.
Sure.
So your office supported the city's annual festival, Camp Leavenworth. Did you have
Yes.
any insights and/or lessons learned from our second annual Camp Leavenworth?
We had a follow-up video conference a month or so, I guess, in that, but I think we're still waiting for final figures and everything on that. I think it went really well. I think everybody appreciated, you know, the entertainment that we had. So I think it was an exciting event this year. It was well received.
Oh, definitely.
I
Yeah,
heard a lot of positives, yeah.
yeah, it was very positive.
Very positive.
Thank you.
Ms. Lee, excuse me. I think it's fairly obvious, the hotels are one of the major revenue generators in this town now. We're probably gonna get, I would say, probably close out 70,000 room nights a year. This year, we're at 60 through the September 30th, so I imagine it'll close around 70,000. Do they have any requests of us, anything that they want from us to make their business better? I know it's very good, but any communication from them that they need help from us on anything?
I'm working with them. I mean, we're working through CVent to try and get leads and stuff, and just through all of our marketing that we're doing, when we do receive leads, we are hosting 3 conferences next year and that. So we continue to try and pull meetings and travelers to here to hopefully put heads in beds. I mean, that's really that's what we want to do. Oh, yes, definitely. So, yeah, it's been good. So I think all the director of sales right now with the hotels are doing a great job. I mean, they're really doing well. Yeah, good people.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
Yes, I know there's several events around the holidays, and so many people ask, are they able to send you flyers and you post it up on the social media page for the Visitors Bureau? What are the requirements, and are there any restrictions?
I think for us, as far as on our website and that, we do want the event to be open to the public. And hopefully using, we want it to be something that's gonna draw people to the event. So not just cater to just local people. We would like to post the, events that are going to attract people from out of town as well. Okay. So that's kind of what we've always went by as far as, is it just a local supper kind of thing? Or is it going to be an event where people are going to come in and, enjoy and have fun?
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay,
That's it.
anything else?
No.
Thank you,
Okay,
Christie.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, good job. Thank you.
All right, any other business? Mr. Kramer?
Yeah, thanks. I'm proud to announce that the city, along with LCDC, submitted a proposal today for the Veterans Home project that the state and the federal government had. It was a tough RFP. The land requirements and the fact that it couldn't be on the VA campus, which is what, for at least the last 3 or 4 years, we had really been focused on. But I think it's a really strong proposal. So a lot of people worked on that, and we did get that submitted today.
Great.
We have the parade on Friday. They let me know there's 23 floats entered into the parade, which is really good. Usually 25 is kind of our target number, so we're right there with the parade and Mayor's Holiday Christmas tree lighting on Friday. Parks and Recreation Department Director wanted me to let everyone know that the Doherty Park equipment is in. They put in the ADA ramps, but they weren't standard, so they had to come out, and they're gonna have to be repoured. So, and then the mulch, and then that'll be complete. So in the next 2 weeks probably, weather permitting, they'll get those ADA ramps repoured and then the mulch put in. And then just finally, we did have a nice surge here at the end and got our basketball numbers up to 131. That's still lower than normal. We did call around. There's a couple area, other recreation departments in the area who are having the same difficulties. One is going to have to cancel their 5th grade and 6th grade girls league completely. But so then you look, why are numbers down for basketball? We completely sold out of private swim lessons. We have 68 kids enrolled in private swim lessons, and that is all of our slots. We had 33 sign up for futsal, which is a pretty big number for us. We had 31 sign up for the biddy basketball, which is on Saturdays with the real little kids. So, you kind of got to look at this stuff, and we'll continue to look at it. But big numbers in swimming and basketball finished strong, but not quite as were the numbers that it had been. And maybe that was toward the end as vaccinations came out. I'm not sure, but it did pick up here at the end. So that's all I have.
The mayor's tree lighting. I want to invite everybody to come out and join us at the mayor's tree lighting and parade. The parade starts at 5:30, correct? 5 o'clock.
Is it 5?
I'm asking you.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts at 5.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking him.
Well, I know you looked at me.
I thought we had to be there at 5, and it starts at 5:30.
Starts at
That's what I
5:30,
thought.
correct? The
That's,
parade?
yes.
We have to be there.
And the mayor's lighting, and it usually takes only a few minutes, about a half an hour at most, and then the tree lighting will start then after that. And all kinds of stuff going on, so please come out Friday night, hope the weather is good. Anything?
No, I just have a comment for the Veterans Day. Just a shout out to the parade committee and anyone else that helped with that, to help celebrate the veterans and everything. I know it was on Thursday, but it was really a big turnout for, well, it was a nice day, and people needed it. It was a great day to celebrate the veterans that gave their courage, dedication, and sacrifice for us. So just a shout out to everyone that helped put that on.
Great.
That's it.
Commissioner Wilson, do you have
Yes, I
anything?
just want to say congratulations to Miss Edna Wagner
yes.
for receiving the Athena International Awards. She is the Executive Director of Richard Allen Culture Center. Just want to say congratulations.
She is amazing, very worthwhile.
Nice event today.
Commissioner, anything tonight?
Nothing tonight.
Okay.
A couple things. I saw it on the city website, a drone overview of the 16th Street Stormwater Project, 16th and Thornton, or 16th and Vios, and going north there. I think it was $700,000 project, part of the stormwater fee. I don't know if we did that or the contractor did that with the drone, the shooting of the film, not the film, but, the video.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it's a good video and shows what was done and how it was done. Good use of the money.
We do.
On the Veterans Day Parade, very proud to see the new fire truck in there. People got to see it. I
Yes.
know the city manager and his kids, 2 of his kids, got to ride in it, but I mean, it's an impressive vehicle, and I'm glad that Chief Birch and his staff and all the firefighters did put it in the parade. I was hoping that County Commissioner Vicki Cosby here tonight and possibly give us an update on Eisenhower Road. I know the opening is imminent, but I don't know exactly when. She said she will have an update. She will have an update tomorrow, and it was originally going to be Monday and was going to be Wednesday, but I'll talk with her tomorrow and see what the update is. And on a sad note, I believe that our municipal judge has passed away, Judge William Prey. He served the city for quite a long time. He's been a fixture in the community for a very long time. So condolences to his family. That's all I have.
Thank you. I have one more thing. Trash bag delivery will be this weekend.
Saturday.
Finally, this Saturday.
Yep,
Yeah, they'll have it all done Saturday, as long as I got enough volunteers out there.
I'll be out there.
All right, anything else? If not, we are adjourned.
No, Holly was freaking